you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great week. There's some snow on the ground this week, which I kind of like. You know, I don't know. It's a lot of fun. Just a little bit of snow. Actually, I would prefer if it's going to snow, just like let it snow. Just like let like a big snowstorm come, and then we can make snowmen and stuff. And can I tell you, I never made a snowman until I was an adult. Even as a kid, I never made one. Isn't that weird? And I grew up in New York, so it's not like we didn't have snow and stuff. But ever since I did it when I was an adult, I really like doing it. So I really want some snow coming our way. Sorry if you disagree with me on that. So anyway, so we're going to begin our service with Modeh Ani, the prayer that says, so glad I woke up this morning so I can make the world a better place. Modeh Ani. We continue with singing Ma Tovu. Ma Tovu, it's the morning. Ma Tovu, bless us this morning. Oh, Halecha, let us enter Yaakov, our heritage. Mishkinatecha, we are searching, will you show us Israel? We are Israel, born to sing your praises in your holy, holy space. Ma Tovu, bless the morning, Ma Tovu. Ma Tovu, Olayif, Sarah Mishkinatai. We continue with the Birkot HaShachar. If you remember, I shouldn't remind you of a mistake, right? Not a good thing. Where I said we were going to do it in Hebrew and English, and I ended up doing it all in Hebrew because I don't know what I was doing. All right, so we are going to do it this week in Hebrew and English, beginning in Hebrew, finishing in English. All right, here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who enables the bird to distinguish day from night. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me in the divine image. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me free. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives sight to the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who releases the bound. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who straightens those who are bent. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches out the earth over the waters. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who steadies our steps. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has provided for all my needs. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens the people Israel with courage. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns the people Israel with glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, and who gives strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from my eyes and slumber from my eyelids. And we continue with Ashrei. Ashrei yoshvei beitecha, hod yehalalucha sela. Ashrei ha'am shekacha lo, Ashrei ha'am she'Adonai Elohav, Tehillah leDavid. Aramimcha Elohai hamelech, ba'arvacha shimcha le'olam vahed. B'chol yom avarchecha, b'hala shimcha le'olam vahed. Gadol Adonai hu la'mehod, v'lik gdulato ein cheker. Dor ledor yishabach machasecha, ugurotecha yagidu. Hadar kivod hodecha, v'divrei niflotecha asicha. Ve'ezuz narotecha yomeru, ugdulatecha asaprena. Zecher rav tuvcha yabihu, v'tzidkatecha yiranenu. Chanun v'rachum Adonai, erech apayim uvdal chesed. Tov Adonai lakol, Rachamav kol ma'asav, Yoducha Adonai kol ma'asecha, V'chasidecha yivarchucha, Kivod malchutecha yomeru, Uguratecha yidaberu, Lehodia lifnei ha'adam kivurotav, Ugvod hadar malchuto, Malchutecha malchut kol olamim, Umemshaltecha b'chol dor vador, Somech Adonai l'chol hanoflim, V'zokef l'chol ha'kifufim, Einei chol elecha yisaberu, Ve'ata noten lahem et ochlam ba'ito, Poteach et yedecha, U'maspil l'chol chai ratzon, Tzadik Adonai b'chol derachav, V'chasid b'chol ma'asav, Karov Adonai l'chol korav, L'chol asher yikra'uhu v'hemet, Ritzon Yirayav Yahaseh, Ve'et Shavatam Yishma V'Yoshiem, Shomer Adonai et kol ohavav, ve'et kol shayim yashmiv. Tehillat Adonai edaber pihi, vivarech kol basar shen kodsho le'olam va'ed, v'anachnu nivarech ya, v'etav yad olam. Hallelujah. Continue with the Baruch Hu. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vahed. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shiftecha b'beitecha uvleftecha b'derech u'shaftecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam lehot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uktavtam hamizuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Ha'Kipor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim V'Kanei HaKol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot U'Mevi Goel Lifnei V'neihem L'man Shemo B'Yahava Melech Ozer U'Fokedu Moshiach U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham U'Foked Sarah אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים את הרב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופך חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מחמוך בעל גבורות, ומדום מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. All right, well, we have got a pretty cool Torah portion this week. So we're on Parshat Bo, which is the third portion of the book of Shemot. And we're, just to give you a little bit of context, we're amongst the whole Passover story. We read the Torah in order, and the Passover story hits now. And then when Passover hits again, we read the section again. But we're talking about the different plagues that are coming including the 10th one, which is the death of the firstborn. But there's something else, and so important, very important stuff. And I'm going to discuss it more when we actually get to Passover. I'll discuss this portion more, because there's other things in this portion that I don't want to miss out on that that isn't repeated. Okay, so there is a section in here that says this: Moses is commanded by God to tell the Israelites to borrow each man from his neighbor and each woman from hers objects of silver and gold. The Torah informs us that the Egyptians willingly gave the Israelites what they requested, and that thus they stripped the Egyptians. Okay, so this word borrow is interesting. The word borrow in Hebrew is sha'al. It could also mean to ask or to demand. Okay, so we've got three words here now that we can possibly, figure out what went on here. When someone asks you to borrow something, you assume you're going to get it back, right? I mean, that's what borrowing is about. And then there's asking, can I have something? Okay. And then there's demanding, do I demand something? So when looking at this, there's a couple different things that could come to mind. One, it could mean look like the Israelites were stealing from the Egyptians. The second thing is that they were borrowing, using the word borrow. And thirdly, maybe it was, Israelites were giving them. Now, the different commentators look at the different things going on here, and they look at each and every one of them. And it says here, Nachmanides, who's a very famous commentator, he suggests that gold and silver that the Egyptians gave to the Israelites represents atonement, a payment of regret for the damages they had inflicted upon the Jewish people. The Egyptians sought forgiveness with their gifts. Okay, so maybe it's something to do with forgiveness, possibly. It is as if the Egyptians were saying, we are the wicked ones. There is violence in our hands, and you must merit God's mercy. Their gifts were an admission of guilt, a confession of all wrongs they had done, and a request for pardon. So possibly that could be it. We don't really know exactly. Most of the commentators dismissed the idea that the Israelites would steal it, understandably. And so the text isn't understood that way, but it is understood, but it is understood possibly that it could be that, that there was something like called reparations, right? Which is something that you did something wrong and then you have to pay for it. Like during the Holocaust, afterwards in Israel, people in Israel asked Germany, for reparations. I think it was something like $1.5 billion. Not that you can put money on lives and things like that, but that, a country or a people did something wrong and they have to pay back in return and things like that. So, so I wanted to ask a couple of questions here. So, have you ever treated someone poorly and try to make up for it? How did you feel afterwards? And did the kind thing make up for the way you initially make up for the way that you initially treated the person? So that's saying, let's say the Egyptians did some wrong things, and then they're saying they're sorry. Can you make up for that? It's an interesting question. Some people look at forgiveness as not just forgiving the other person, but help freeing them so they can move forward. So some people, actually, some of the commentators here, I like this one, says that the Israelites, even though they got this gift from the Egyptians, the Israelites were forgiving of them in order to be able to move forward and not carry that emotional baggage with them. They did forgive the Egyptians on all the wrongdoing that they did. And that takes a lot of guts and stuff to be able to do that. So have you ever lent someone something of value? Why? How would you have felt if you knew that you would never get this item back? So just different questions just to think of. But the last thing is one of the things I said, it's, that I really liked in terms of the commentary, that, the Israelites could hold a grudge, understandably. That a lot of wrongdoing were done with them, and possibly they, were forgiving. And that's a really takes a strong quality of a person to be able to forgive someone who does them wrong. So just something to think about. So Shabbat Shalom. All right, we are going to, if I can find it, here we go. Yes, we are going to sing the Misha Berach blessing, a blessing of healing, blessing of repair, of refuah shlema, complete recovery. And so hopefully, whether that's for us physically or for us emotionally, maybe forgiving, help, forgiving someone for something can help in complete healing. So we're going to continue with the Misha Berach. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. If you want to be in touch with me, if it's about something in the service that you'd like to see, I can be reached at Aaron, DAARON, at ansheemet.org. So until we meet again next week, and hopefully sooner than later in terms of in person, who knows exactly when, but I look forward to that day. I wish everyone Shabbat Shalom, and that everyone stays healthy and does everything they need to do. Wash your hands, wear your masks, all that kind of stuff. So I miss you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Shabbat Shalom.